I mean, they got word of it. They called you in, confronted you, you resigned and left.
Yeah.
So there's no culpability on the school. But he was coming to your classroom when nobody else was around. What were you doing in that classroom that you didn't want anybody else to see?
I mean, he would hug me, but really not much than that if he was dropping by. It was never numerous times or anything like that. I mean, he might drop by and give me a compliment and hug me, but then he would leave.
Do you know of any reason that people might report that oral sex took place in the classroom?
He did tell people that, and he admitted that he did make that up and he was lying. A few days before I had resigned, something inappropriate happened in my classroom, but all the other times,
okay,
it was not sexual.
Tell me about the few days before you resigned.
I was in my classroom and he came by, and that's when it happened.
And what was it that happened?
Well, I think the whole world knows what happened.
Well, I don't think they do.
Well, that's when the relationship became inappropriate.
Did you have sex in your classroom then?
Coming up.
How did this happen? How long did this encounter last?
Maybe 2 hours.
Did both of you get completely disrobed?
Scandal Confession. A Dr. Phil exclusive continues.
Did you have sex in your classroom then?
Yes. The one time.
Tell me how that happened.
He came in, I was working on things. He kept coming closer to me, and I would kind of walk away to the other part, another room, another area of the classroom, and he just walked up to me and then he kissed me, and then it just kind of went from there.
How long did this encounter last?
I mean, he was probably in my room for, maybe 2 hours, I guess.
And how long was the inappropriate part?
I'd say maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Did both of you get completely disrobed?
No.
Did you get partially disrobed? How did this happen?
Well, I was walking around the classroom straightening up the desks, and I guess it was standing up.
And at that point, did you ever ask him to not do it?
Yes, I was, I kept on saying, no, we can't do this, no, but he wasn't forcing me. I could have easily just walked out of my classroom, but I didn't. But I was resisting, because I knew it was wrong, but I didn't.
And how did you feel afterwards?
Terrified. I just couldn't believe that I had done something like that.
Had he ever kissed you off campus anywhere or anything like that?
No, there was nothing before that.
So it went to going full out.
He did kiss me maybe 2 or 3 days before it happened. That was the first time he had kissed me. I'm sorry, I was confused by the timing of that.
And where did that kiss take place?
In the classroom.
What happened the next time you saw him?
He came by to apologize because I had resigned, and that's when he said that I should come by his house and speak with him and his father, and that's what I did.
What did you say?
They were just very apologetic, that I had lost my job over this, and I was being invited over there numerous times, and I would go.
So you continued the relationship there?
Yes.
What were they apologizing for?
Because he knew that his son was seen leaving my classroom.
But he did not know that the two of you had had sex in the classroom?
As far as I know, I don't believe so.
Well, what were they apologizing for?
That I had lost my job over the fact that he was in my classroom, I guess.
What did you do when you went over there?
We would sit in the living room and talk. We would all talk, or we'd watch a movie or something like that.
You, the boy, and his father?
Yes.
Now, your father is a pastor?
No. I've never read a news story that had the story right. My father is not a pastor.
Okay, that's why I'm asking, so you could clear that up. He is not a pastor.
No, he is not.
Okay, why are they reporting that he's a pastor?
I guess because the young man's father is a pastor.
Okay, the young man's father is a pastor.
Yes.
Were you affectionate with the boy when you were there?
Not at the beginning, not too much.
But later on you were?
I mean, we never kissed in front of him or anything.
When was the next time that you had sex with the boy?
After I resigned, it was probably 3 weeks after that, I guess.
And where was that?
I don't remember. Maybe in my car.
And where did you go?
We would just drive around anywhere, I mean, in the country.
And did you do this frequently?
I wouldn't say frequently, maybe about 6 times.
Did your husband ever question where you were or what you were doing?
No, because I had already filed for divorce.
Did you have sex at your home?
No.
At his home?
Yes.
But his father wasn't around when you did?
Correct.
And how many times did that happen?
At his home, once.
It is also reported that the boy took a trip for a vacation, is that correct?
Yes.
And that you drove 650 miles to see him while he was in Mississippi.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, he had been gone about a month and a half, and during that time, we talked on the phone nearly all day, every day, and so he wanted me to come visit him. And I thought, I mean, there's plenty of things to do there, and if there's a chance that I get to see him, fine. If not, no big deal.
Where did you see him?
In a parking lot. He had snuck out of the house and jumped a fence and ran across the parking lot and got in my car.
And then where did y'all go?
Back to my hotel.
Were you found there?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, the police knocked on the door and I opened it up and they said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm visiting. And they said, visiting who? And I said, a friend. And they said, is he in there? And I said, yes. And they came in and...
How did they know you were there?
I don't know.
Well, somebody had to tell them, right?
Yeah. My ex was logging into my Facebook, logging into my email. And I mean, I don't know if he's the one that saw my hotel reservations in Mississippi or, I mean, I really don't know how that happened.
So he may have seen it and called them.
Yeah.
When they knocked on that door, you opened it, it's the police. Tell me what you thought.
It really hadn't hit me yet. I mean, I still didn't realize, the big trouble that it was going to follow.
But at that point, it had not registered with you that this was a criminal relationship?
Up.
You were 27 when this started.
Yes.
Okay, and the boy was?
15.
That is statutory rape. And you knew that was a crime.
Teacher scandal confession. She had sex with her 15-year-old student continues.
Jennifer Sexton is a middle school teacher from Oklahoma who is accused of having an illicit relationship with her 15-year-old student. She's understood to have traveled 650 miles to a Mississippi hotel where the pair were caught by police and she was later arrested.
When they knocked on that door, and it's the police, it had not registered with you that this was a criminal relationship?
No, I mean, the town that I'm from, this happens quite a bit. It's still going on, and if no one's pressing the issue, there's no charges. And unfortunately for me, someone was pressing the issue.
Okay, you're how old?
I'm 29.
So you were 27 when this started?
Yes.
Okay, and the boy was?
15.
So there's a 12-year difference, and he's 15. That's a minor.
Yes.
That in any of the 50 states is statutory rape, right?
Yes.
Now, I know you're not a lawyer, and I know you're not a criminal prosecutor, but I also know that you're a college-educated woman, and you know what a minor is.
Yes.
And you know that having sex with a minor is a crime, right?
Yes.
And you knew that was a crime.
Yes.
Okay, and when I first asked you, you said, I never had sex with him until I resigned. But then you said, well, actually, I had sex with him several days before I resigned.
I don't remember saying I never had sex with him before I resigned.
That's what you said. So were you confused about the timing?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused right now.
Because I want to be sure that I have it straight.
Okay,
Because you resigned on the 14th of April, I believe.
okay.
But whatever the day was, you did have sex with him in your classroom while you were a teacher at the school.
One time, yes.
Okay. So this was a teacher having sex with a student, and it was an adult having sex with a minor. And both of those are way across the line, right?
Yes,
And you didn't resign because it looked bad. You resigned because you had had sex in a classroom and people were talking about it.
yeah,
They didn't know everything, but you did.
yeah.
Did you resign to stop that investigation?
It was just kind of a split decision. I just signed it and got out of there.
What did they know?
I believe someone had told them that they had seen him touch my butt in the hallway, and I don't remember that. I mean, I didn't feel it or something, because I don't remember that happening, but someone did report that.
And how long before you resigned was this?
Maybe a couple weeks or a month, I don't really know.
So this had gotten physical long before you actually had sex.
No, well, I don't remember him grabbing my butt in the hallway, but someone had reported that.
Did you resign because you thought, if I resign, I can continue my relationship with him?
Yes,
So you thought, job or him? I'll give up the job because I want him.
yes. He made me happy, and so I'd rather be happy than be miserable and have my job.
So you quit to clear the decks, so there would be no reason not to be with him.
Yeah,
But you still had the problem that he was a minor.
yes. But in this town, I mean, there was a cop who dated a minor. She was 15 and he was in his 20s, and he was a cop, and nobody cared.
So you're saying the culture in the town, that was not taboo.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do it.
So culture in the town's okay. Teacher's a problem. Being a teacher, student's a problem. So get rid of that,
Yeah,
and then you're good to go.
yeah,
And in fact, that's what you did. You started going to his house. You started hanging out with him. Filed for divorce. Spending time with him, and you pursued it just that way.
yes.
If it's okay in the culture, why sneak around? Why not just do it openly?
Because it's not okay if someone's pressing the issue, and my ex-husband was pressing the issue. Every time my car was seen at his house, he called the cops, and he finally contacted the DA.
So you knew they were after you,
Yes,
and you continued anyway.
yes.
Why?
I was hoping that he would eventually just move on and leave it alone.
Did you see yourself being with him long term,
Yes,
marrying him?
yes,
He was 15. I mean, he was 8th grade.
yes.
You see yourself marrying an 8th grader.
Coming up,